The Premier League has started. It kicked off this recent weekend, and one of the biggest stories of this transfer window that has been going on so far has been the way Chelsea have moved in the window, depriving Liverpool of a major acquisition. And not just once, it appears they're about to do it twice. Liverpool's desire and indeed need for a defensive midfielder was clear before their 1-1 draw against Chelsea on Sunday. Liverpool looked brilliant for the first 30 minutes and then smashed headfirst into the uncomfortable fact that you can have the most talented attacking team in the world, but none of that matters if you can't get the ball and can't keep the ball. They left Stamford Bridge with 35% of the possession, a lower figure than they recorded in any game last season against a team not named Manchester City. They agreed to what would have been a record fee for Brighton's Moises Caicedo, only for the player to opt for Chelsea. Then they dragged their feet in the negotiations for Romeo Lavia, only for him to also reportedly opt for Chelsea. There are 2 weeks left in the transfer window, and Liverpool do not have a true holding midfielder on their roster. What can they do? Now, before they lost Fabinho, before they lost Henderson to Saudi Arabia, they already intended to go into the market and bring somebody in. It seemed like Lavia was their preferred option. That is Romeo Lavia was their preferred option as a youngster who could develop over time, get some experience, and work with Fabinho, who could be a capable mentor. However, Saudi Arabia forced their hand and they had to let go of that particular plan. But they were still going for Romeo Lavia, even though Chelsea were always waiting in the wings. And if you remember, last season, Chelsea actually made a £50 million deadline day bid for Romeo Lavia. So he was always on their shopping list. And it seems they always intended to go for two defensive midfielders, with Caicedo being their number one choice. With the fact that the first option, Caicedo, rejected them, and now Lavia has reportedly also rejected them. What does this say about Liverpool's ability to attract top-tier talent to the Merseyside?
So to be fair on the Caicedo deal, I don't think Liverpool lost out technically. I think Liverpool were just playing in uncharted territories because the player, like he alluded, talking about Moises Caicedo, said that he had personal agreement with Chelsea already. The only reason why Liverpool came into the fore was because they saw an opening where Chelsea were still lagging behind in terms of the amount Brighton were requesting for, and it's looking like they were not going to meet it. They were sticking on 100 million or so. Just like what happened for Declan Rice with Arsenal, when Man City came from nowhere and put an improved bid, and it made Arsenal give a much more improved bid and eventually land Declan Rice. So for Moises Caicedo, Liverpool just came in and gave an improved bid. Then Chelsea came from nowhere from the 100 million and took it to 115 and said, we are still here. And we are not here because we came late. We are here because this player had already agreed. It's the same thing that happened with Mikel Obi for Chelsea so many years ago. Chelsea literally sponsored this guy to go and study in Norway, or to go and do whatever he was doing in Norway. And Man U thought they could come from nowhere to hijack the guy. Now, you finally did something better than the bid Chelsea did. But because of that initial agreement between Mikel and Chelsea, eventually he played for Chelsea.
Okay,
so that's the same thing that
but a caveat to this story is the fact that, first of all, Liverpool are one of top two biggest clubs, historically speaking, in England. Secondly, the back and forth between Brighton and Chelsea had dragged on for so long, and this is not the first time we've seen a player who has had personal deals, personal terms agreed with a different club. When another club chooses to get in on the act at the dying embers of the game, they realize maybe this is a better option because this club is bigger, historically speaking. This club is in Europe, which Liverpool are in Europa League this season. And yet, Caicedo, he has clarified that he chose Chelsea not just because they had personal terms agreed, because Brighton CEO did say that it appeared that he was willing to go only for him to change his mind, to Liverpool, that is. But it seems that, according to him, he always loved Chelsea. Chelsea was always a boyhood club. He admired Kante. So, and I was listening to some pundits over the weekend, and it dawned on me that Caicedo, being only 21, for him, in the last 20 years or so, Chelsea are one of the most successful clubs, if not the most successful club in England, winning 5 Premier Leagues, winning 5 FA Cups, winning 2 Champions Leagues. For him, Liverpool are living on past glories, and Chelsea can afford to pay him more. So again, I come back to Liverpool have also now they're about to lose out on Romeo Lavia. So it's not just the Caicedo transfer that is appearing to damage the reputation of Liverpool, but it's the fact that even after Caicedo, who is expected to be a starting number 1 choice pick for Pochettino, Lavia doesn't mind playing either second fiddle to him rather than choosing Liverpool.
Again, negotiations are not 1+1. I would remember vividly last season, a certain Manchester United chose Frankie de Jong like there was no tomorrow, like he was the only player in the transfer window. In fact, at some time, de Jong himself was dreaming about wearing the jersey of Manchester United. But what happened eventually? He stayed back at Barcelona. At the time, Barcelona were in financial turmoil. At the time, Barcelona literally blackmailed Frankie de Jong with his contract. At the time, Barcelona were letting go of players that were surplus to requirements because they didn't have financial stability. But Frankie de Jong stayed back. Rafinha was leaving Leeds United, flirted with Chelsea, eventually chose that same Barcelona. Jules Kounde came on, flirted with Chelsea, eventually chose that same Barcelona. This same Chelsea stole Mudryk from Arsenal. Mudryk was flirting with Arsenal. Arsenal were about to go for Vlahovic. For some reason, he went to Juventus. So I think negotiations are not 1+1 as we are looking at it. I don't think it's because Chelsea had recent history more than Liverpool, or Liverpool are living on past glory. I just think it's about the backroom staff. It was one of the things Chelsea were experiencing under Marina Granovskaya before, and Peter Cech and Michael Emalano before they all left. The backroom staff, negotiation power come into place. Holistically, Liverpool are bigger than Chelsea right from time. Recent times, Chelsea have won more laurels than Liverpool, at least in the last 10, 20 years. But when a player goes to a club, Chelsea are nowhere in Europe. So what will be their negotiation power to attract any player? Just come and play only English-centric games? There is something about the negotiation that is making the players choose Chelsea, and it is beyond the club glory or the club branding. It's down to negotiation.
Well, Moises Caicedo is going to be wearing the number 25 jersey, the number worn by club icon Gianfranco Zola. So it seems a match made in heaven. N'Golo Kante was his idol at Chelsea. Chelsea was his boyhood club. We saw the picture he took with his mom in 2020. It all seems like it was always meant to be. It was always Chelsea.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
And he's not the only one. I think the defender that is wearing number 26 for Chelsea, also wearing John Terry's.
Yes.
Even Nicholas Jackson is wearing Drogba's jersey. I mean, it's left to be seen if all of them replicate this past glory.
Well, it's all going to be interesting as the season unfolds for Chelsea and indeed for Liverpool. Let's see if they need a defensive midfielder and if they will get a defensive midfielder. Thank you so much, Gboyega, for joining us, myself, and the rest of the Plus TV team on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And you know where to find me for that later in the evening.
No wala. No wala. Have a good evening. And to everyone at home, at work, wherever you've had the opportunity to catch us. My name, as always, is Mikhail Tinubu. Remember, you've been watching Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa, and always we appreciate you. Life is never boring with some sports. Have a wonderful evening.